So, in case you didn't know, it's baking soda week. You guys finally get to get out your baking soda kits. Woo, exciting. To do more science. All right, so for baking soda week, in addition to what's in this bag, you are going to need a couple other things for some of the days. For today's experiment, you're going to need some kind of dish or a bowl or container. It doesn't have to be clear, just something that you can mix in, and a spoon, either disposable or like a metal spoon, like out of your drawer. And then for another lesson later, you're going to need some kind of bottle, empty bottle. So like it could be a pop bottle, a little water bottle, Gatorade bottle, just some kind of plastic bottle you're gonna need, okay? All right, so today we are going to experiment with how baking soda gets stains out of clothing, because it's a real thing. Certain stains that you get on your clothes, there's certain ways to get out different types of stains. Sometimes you use cold water, sometimes you use laundry detergent, sometimes you use dish soap, sometimes you use baking soda. So we're going to practice that today by making a baking soda paste. So to do this, you're going to need your baking soda baggie. Now be careful, because I gave everybody about 3/4 cup, almost a cup of baking soda, but we need this for all of our experiments this week. So don't spill it and don't use too much, or you won't have enough for all the experiments. So what we're going to do for this one, we are going to get 1 heaping spoonful. Heaping means that it's like going up over the top. If it's not heaping, see how now it's like you don't really see the baking soda over the top of my spoon? This is a normal spoonful, not heaping. So you're just gonna do 1 heaping spoonful of baking soda, and you're gonna put it in your dish, okay? And then you're going to get some water. Make sure you don't put too much water in, or you'll need more baking soda, and then you'll run out of baking soda. So you can just get water out of the sink. I just don't have a sink in my classroom. You're going to get like a little less than a full spoonful of water. So pour it really slowly. And I have some in here, but I don't have it heaping because it won't heap. And you're just going to dump that in to your baking soda, and then you're going to start mixing. Now, if it is like too thick where it won't mix, like you can see that it's having trouble mixing up there, then I'm going to need to add a tiny bit more water, but not too much. I want it to be kind of creamy, and right now mine is not creamy. It's still very dry. So I'm going to add in like a tiny bit. You might want to do more like originally, a full spoonful of water. Again, we don't want too much. So I'm going to dump that in, and I'm going to keep trying to stir it until it's like really smooth. All right. So now I have more of a smooth instead of chunky paste, but it's still a paste. It's not really runny. I can still see some thickness to it. See how it's thick when it goes around in there? So now I have, and I might have added a tiny bit too much, but that's okay. Now I have a baking soda paste. So I am going to use this paste to see if I can get some stains out of clothing. And I already have stains in the clothing. That's why I gave you what looks like a dirty piece of fabric. It's not necessarily dirty. I just put stains on there on purpose. So you have 4 stains, although the last 2 are hard to see, but there are 4 stains on here. The first one is K. Anybody have a guess what that is? That is a ketchup stain. So I squirted some ketchup on there. The CH one, the brown one, is chocolate syrup, like you put on an ice cream sundae. Then there's a G. That one's the one that's really hard to see. You have to look really carefully. You can see it on the back side of it a little bit right here. That one is grease. After I cooked up some sausage for my family to eat on pizza, I got some of the grease on like in a little syringe, and I squirted it onto this, because that does happen. People get grease stains, and it could be like oil. It could be grease like from like a car. But grease stains are hard to get out sometimes. And then the last one that's really hard to see that has a C, that's coffee. I made some coffee, and I dumped it with the syringe on here as well. But that one's harder to see. So what I want you to do, you're going to get a Q-tip that's in your baggie, and you're going to dip it. And you have a couple Q-tips. Just use one if you can help it. You're going to dip it in so you have some baking soda on your Q-tip. All right. And then I want you to put it on one of the stains. Do one at a time. And notice the reason I wrote those is that if they disappear, you'll know what was supposed to be there. And you're going to get that paste and rub it on it's hard to hold up and do this. You're going to rub it into that stain. And like as I'm rubbing it right now, it's kind of getting chunky. Let me show you. And that's okay, because it's still getting on there. And then what I want you to do after you have the baking soda paste on all 4 of the stains is I want you to let it sit. Just leave it alone and let it kind of soak in there and really try to get that stain out. And then I want you to, after it's sat in there, so maybe like 5 minutes, I want you to take it to the sink and rinse it out and kind of scrub it as you rinse it so that we can see if we can get that stain out. So you'll kind of scrub it back and forth like this as you rinse it to get all that baking soda off of your fabric. And I want to see which one comes out the best with baking soda, or do any of them come off with baking soda? So let me show you again. So what I'm going to do with this one is you can even kind of push it in with your finger a little bit if that works better after you put it on the Q-tip, and then you're just going to let it sit and soak. And you can even do it a second time if you want, because sometimes when you have stains in clothes like grass stains or blood stains or ketchup or strawberry stains, those are fun to get out. If somebody's eating a strawberry and gets it on their shirt, my kids do that a lot. You sometimes have to treat it more than once, and sometimes you have to treat it with more than one thing. Instead of just doing baking soda and something else. So doing baking soda and letting it sit, and then maybe getting Dawn dish soap or some kind of dish soap or laundry detergent and trying again. So what I want you to do, like I said, make your baking soda paste, put that on all of the 4 stains, let it set for 5 minutes, and rinse it out and see if any of them came out. If they didn't come out at all, can you try something else that you have at home on them and see what does get them out? And then there's a discussion board. I want you guys to post what you found with your baking soda as a stain remover, okay? One last thing I wanted to tell you, this exact same baking soda paste that we just made, you can use on bee stings, or if you get stung or bit by something. My daughter got stung by a wasp this summer on her back, and on the spot where we put it, or where she got stung, we put a little dollop of that baking soda paste on it. Why did we do that? Sorry, I needed to go get a tissue to wipe it off. It's something about the way the baking soda paste reacts with the venom, the poison kind of the bee, that it helps to neutralize it and kind of make it so that it doesn't hurt as much, doesn't swell as bad, and it doesn't get so itchy. So now you know how to make a baking soda paste, so if you ever get stung by something, you can use that to help you feel better. Okay, go try to get those stains out, and don't forget to post in the discussion board your findings. Have fun. Happy Science Day, Baking Soda Week.